Hey everybody, welcome to Trendy Trading. My name is Jonathan. Let's go ahead and get started. Today is November the 20th, 2022, and we are covering from the 20th. So tonight we'll be going over some future charts all the way into Friday the 25th. Please take note, this is the holiday day on the 24th, and I was trying to find if Friday was an abbreviated day. I couldn't find any information, but please know it is a short week. Let's go ahead and get started with this week's broad market analysis. So first things first, we're going to take you into earnings. So again, I use Earning Whispers here on Twitter. It is free information. And you can see it's a pretty light week, looks pretty quiet. There are some names that I'm interested in, such as we have Baidu, Futu, Dell, Zoom, Best Buy, and then, some retail, John Deere, but overall looks pretty quiet. Doesn't really get me too excited about this week coming up. Let's go ahead and then go into the U.S. economic calendar. Again, really quiet. Tomorrow, Chicago Fed National Activity Index. That's all that's slated that I see here on Market Watch. Tuesday, absolutely nothing. Wednesday, take note, initial jobless claims. And we also have new home sales and FOMC coming in towards the end of the day. And then on Thursday, once again, Thanksgiving Day holiday. And then Friday, nothing scheduled. Overall, looks like a really slow week as far as catalysts in the market. Fear and greed index, we'll go over this towards the end of the day. Basically, people are still greedy, but not as greedy as they were last Friday. So you're saying there's a chance we could have hit extreme greed? Just maybe. Let's go ahead and take a look at the charts. So let's go here into SPY and QQQ. Let's go ahead and look at SPY first. And again, this is going to be our neutral strategy. And if you guys want to see those results, we have those in the room from last week. And what I'm looking at here on the left-hand side is a weekly, and over here on the right-hand side is a 4-hour. Please take note of the neutral levels and then our targets to the upside and targets to the downside. My overall sentiment coming into this week, we're coming off of an inside week, which is absolutely my favorite. And are we going to move inside and up or inside and down? That's what I'm looking for. So really the neutral box is, basically around that formation. Please understand that we could have a double inside week, especially because we don't have a whole lot going on that I'm aware of. So I don't really see a lot of catalysts that could specifically move the market, and going into the holiday week, it could just be pretty slow. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to trade and have a good time. Again, I can't predict the future, so therefore I could be completely wrong, and we could get some sort of rip or a really nice dip. Overall, the sentiment is neutral, and you can see that inside candle. So we'll be staying still and kind of just waiting for those levels to break, and then we know what to do after that. Let's go ahead and move into the QQQ. All right, same thing here. And again, just take note of the levels. I'm trying to shorten the time on the video. If you guys need to know how to trade the neutral strategy, it's out there on my YouTube page. So just take a look at that. But these are the levels. Take a snapshot there. You can see that your neutral is between 281 and 286. Same thing. Close the week on an inside neutral candle. That's my favorite setup. We'll be looking to see if we get inside and up or inside and down. So again, that's SPY and QQQ. Next thing that I want to be looking at is going to be the bigger picture. So let's go over here to Trading View. And at first, I get it. It looks like there's a lot going on. I promise, though, I'm going to go over this with you and help you to understand what it is that we're looking at on the bigger picture. So first things first, notice that the market did come into our demand zone, and it's worked really well since then. Let's go over the annotations here as far as what I have written. And we have an inside month right here. And then we follow that up by an inside and up, but this is a monthly candle, and therefore we're not at the end of the month, so anything can happen. But of right now, this bullish channel of the last 2 months, that's taking this candle and this pivot high and finding the 23.6 and 38.2, this is our support. And as long as the SPY can hold these levels, folks, I do remain bullish to the upside. Okay, so we went over the inside month and the bullish channel. Now let's go ahead and see what's going on in this area. So we have this red box, okay? And this is a supply zone. And you can see the inside and down formation here. Notice that price came into an initial test of that inside and down, and we did reject, but again, holding the bullish channel. Therefore, this bullish channel holds. We're into a little bit of supply. It looks very neutral, hence the neutral candle that we saw this week. What do bulls need? They need to push up over the cloud here. That's another reason for us just to be a little cautious until we can actually build value above that. Building value above that puts us at or around above 398.81. You can see these levels over here. So again, this EMA. And you can see that things are starting to get a little bit tighter. Okay, and typically you'll get something like this. And again, this is a monthly chart. And then if we break out above this resistance here, we'll look for it to become support. And basically, we're just kind of chewing our way through this supply zone very slowly. A lot of topping wicks in here, a lot of bearish pressure. Now, I took this portion off. I want to show you a couple other ways of looking at the Fibonacci's here. So the entire rally that started in 2020, let's go ahead and start there. We don't need to be perfect here. We're going to come up from that pivot high, or sorry, that pivot low into the pivot high. Notice this channel, this is our bull channel of the entire rally, again, which is in place here, shows us that we are actually holding above the bullish channel. So my overall thought here and sentiment is, again, SPY is actually bullish. It wasn't a great year so far, right? As far as like the action here, but it is bullish considering if I take the 2020 level into the pivot high. And that's what we've been doing the whole year and keeping it real and just waiting for these zones here to take action. So that's one way of looking at it. And now the next thing that I want to show you is going to be, we're going to take these off, okay? And then I want to show you using Fibonacci's from this pivot high into this pivot low. This gives us an idea, the bigger picture. So from the drop of 2022 all the way down into where we hit demand, look exactly where we are. I love this confluence here, folks. So this is a bear channel, if you will. So let me just kind of draw it out for you. So this move here straight down, when we started to move from demand, this is still the bear channel. All right. But look how well it lines up with the cloud, with the 23 or the 38.2. And again, it just really reiterates the fact that if we can get over this cloud, things can really take off from here. And that's why I'm looking for targets of 408.96 and possibly up towards 416. Once we get above there, again, we have this huge quarterly supply, and we don't even know if we'll get up here. But I just wanted to go over those levels with you. These are very important levels. Some of these are confluent with the levels that I gave you on your neutral strategy for this week. Let's go ahead and then go into QQQ for the bigger picture. All right, so here we are again. Let's go ahead and take a look here. So this is the 618 of the COVID rally. That is support. And we've had that same level on here, folks. And the way that I got that level is we're going to take our Fibonacci. We're going to come to the pivot low, into the pivot high. Okay, let me go ahead and show you some fibs here. Sorry. Let's click on there, go to settings. I don't know why that keeps bouncing back. Oh, there we go, template. Yeah, we're going to go to norm. Right there. So notice this is the 618 of that entire rally. And remember, the 618 is the golden Fibonacci. And basically what it's saying here is if prices don't close under there, this trend is still intact. Now, as far as my Fibonacci is concerned, it's not bullish though, unless we can start to get above these levels here, that 23. 0.6 and 38.2. And notice every time we've come up, it's actually been a really difficult area to get over. But we are consolidating here, kind of digesting this move between the 618 and the 38.2. Let's go ahead and take that off. All right, now coming up here, same things, folks. The bull channel of the last 2 months puts the QQQ between 284, and 278. Notice this is also inside and up, and it's holding the bull channel. All I'm saying, folks, okay, here, and I know you know this here at Trendy, is this rally is still bullish, but we do have a down range. Now, these fibs here, same thing that I showed you on the SPY, see, they can't get over the bearish channel of this entire move that's down. So it's come in, it's created an inside and up, it came into demand. However, the move up is pretty weak. ES or SPY is outpacing the QQQ. We need prices to hold and get back over the bearish channel. Now, up here, it's quite a distance away. It's around $310. But the first major step going into this week that would prove to be somewhat bullish would be above 289.13. Okay, and again, those numbers don't have to be exact, but just over 289.13 starts to look a little bit better. As far as the cloud is concerned, okay, is you could see we're testing it from underneath. And if I zoom in here for you, that you could see this cloud is resistance until otherwise, and we're barely hanging on. But we do have the support in here. And again, that is an inside and up formation. Just like the SPY, we have our overall inside and down or supply level here. The SPY has come up and tested it, which again, if you remember 2 weeks ago, I told you that the SPY could move about 20 bucks, and we were looking for, I think, QQQ to run about $26 or so. So again, the SPY actually hit our target, whereas QQQ again is just lagging here. Okay. Again, overall though, my sentiment on SPY and QQQ going into this week, when I look at the weekly candles, you can see we're inside, okay? And because we're inside, again, I'm neutral until we either start to see inside and up or inside and down. Okay, so inside and down will look like something like this. All right. Now, a little bit of gut check here going into a holiday uh, week. It it just feels like they could range bound this thing unless there's any unknown catalyst that I'm unaware of that could hit the market and really give us some kind of big move into the supply zone to the upside. For right now, though, I remain bullish in the market, and I'm looking to buy the dips at our key levels. Okay. All right, let's go back up here. We want to make sure we go over everything. The next thing is going to be the DXY or the dollar. Now, this is really important. Why is it important? We have absolutely crushed understanding how to be long in this market. We use the dollar, the TNX, the SKU, and then we look at supply and demand on those ES, SPY, QQQ, NASDAQ charts, and I put it all together, and that's what helps us stay on the right side of the trade. Now, we went inside and down, and for the last several weeks, I've coached us and helped you understand that my first target was the cloud, and that we could see the dollar hit the cloud. Then the dollar would bounce exactly what it's doing. The market will pull back a little bit, okay? But if you look at it this way, what I'm doing is now I'm measuring the move down, and on the bounce, as long as the dollar cannot sustain movement over the bearish cycle, then what I'm saying here, okay, is that price could bounce into the bearish channel, sorry, not bearish cycle, into the bearish channel and then come right back down. Okay, everybody understand that. Now, these blue levels down here, what I'm saying here is if this is just a relief bounce. So what I mean, again, is that we're just bouncing up into the bearish channel and then we would head back down. These are showing, and let's read this annotation here, inside and up. If price hits here, I expect a bounce and for the market to turn down. This is where I believe that we could start a cycle down in the market itself. This is where I want to be, a little bit more focused on being on the bear side. Maybe some spreads to get started, like sell some call credit spreads, buy some put debit spreads, possibly some directional trades. If we were to get into this area. So it's really important while I'm sitting here talking to you for me to go ahead and create an alert. Okay. And if for some reason the dollar crosses that level, then I will be warned. And then from there, I'll start assessing and probably being careful with my long positions that I currently have on. Okay. Up here, you'll see, it says caution above. So again, that's for if the dollar bounces above here, okay, then I'm again going to remain cautious to the upside in the market. The cloud is support for right now. And again, guys, that is the dollar. Let's go ahead and go into the TNX. Also, TNX, very neutral. We still have 10 days left until this candle actually closes here. I would like to see the candle close inside because, in my thoughts, everyone keeps talking about rates and all this kind of jazz. And really, at the end of the day, I am focused on formations. That's what helps us understand that we're looking for rates to start moving up. And right here, what I understand is just like I was showing you on the SPY and QQQ. It's a neutral candle so far. It's a monthly, so we need to wait 10 days. But perhaps the rates go inside and up. Possible capitulation event is what I've been saying. If rates start to move, over this 4.57 and so forth. However, if we go inside and down, somehow the market is, starting to feel a little bit better. I would expect the rates to come down. Sorry, the TNX, the Treasury here, into this level for support. Now, if the dollar drops into inside and up, and the TNX were to drop down into the support, once again, that would just make me feel better and more convicted that the market indeed is coming into a down cycle soon. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at there. All right, let's see here. So let's make sure we get all of our information in here. Next thing we're going to look at is the skew. These are the hedge funds. Taking a look at that, we had made, I gave you this information a long time ago. We were spot on with it. Again, we weren't, sure that we didn't know that the market was going to move 200 plus points in one day, but I did have these notes here for you. And after I studied this very easy chart to study, looking at a weekly, all right. I've always had these levels on here. Protect, risk off. What that means is I don't want to be long if the skew were to get towards this red line. As prices drop or the skew drops, sorry, into these green levels, I want to be risk on, meaning that I'm looking to go long and that it's a timing issue. Timing is a variable. But one thing that I did note over the last several weeks was that we were coming into this level. And with the data that I have, it shows very clearly that the market moves very nicely to the upside. Again, timing is the variable. It happened basically in one day. But if you were to put a SPY chart behind this, what you would see, folks, is when the skew comes down into these very low levels, that it typically takes somewhere between, it could take it could take one day, like we saw a couple weeks ago, or it could take several weeks. But what we notice with the data is that the SPY in the background, when we come to these levels, is then starts to move up. So again, that's why it says risk on, but it is timing is the variable here when talking about the skew. That's why I go over everything else. Okay. So we want to be a little cautious this week because the inside candles, we're not sure if they're going to fire inside and up or inside and down. Okay. The dollar is coming into a little bit of support on the cloud. The TNX, we're kind of unsure, and your skew is bounced up. Now, if I were to look at this like a stock, what I'd be looking for here is that we hit this cloud, which is resistance, which is really interesting, right? Because we're able to use the indicators and all that good stuff to apply it to all instruments in the market. If the skew were to come back down towards this way, then I believe the market continues to stay bullish. Okay. So again, that's the skew. Now, since we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at the VIX. Now, the VIX has worked really, really well just by using our trendy levels. Okay. So if we come over here to the month, you can see over and over that the YE, okay, continues to be resistance, and I have it turned off at the moment, but it continues to be resistance right up here. But what's really important is that down here on the weekly, folks, We are getting, so we can predict the market, the volatility in the market by using inside and up and inside and down formations, right? So it's just like a stock. And if you will, notice that I had this caution area here from a long time ago. Basically, I picked out an inside and up formation. The VIX pulled back into this target and then bounced from 2240 into about 26. Okay, so UVXY, if you like to trade that instrument, it would have been idea to be trading off of this VIX chart. And you can see it also pushed up into the cloud and then rejected. Really neat when you look at it from that perspective, right? So again, we want to be cautious in here. So this can really help you out, but I just wanted to go over that. But I'm also not very concerned unless the VIX starts to bid over this level here, which comes in at around 2657, 2660. Okay. So between here, it's just noise, is what I'm trying to tell you. All right. The more we dig deep into possibly if we break down below the 22 level here on the VIX, then I start to get concerned once we get and fill this gap here in the VIX at around 21 to 20 and a half. Then I'm thinking, I'm looking at the dollar, looking at the TNX, and I'll piece it together and coach you guys. And then obviously we'll be looking for that cycle to the downside. Okay. I'm not saying it's coming this week or even next week. The market can go sideways. We could still have fun with a little bit of range. But again, holiday weeks, don't try to press it. We're going to have fun. We'll see you in the morning. Melissa and I will be on the mic 30 minutes before the open. We can't wait to trade with you guys. I really appreciate you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can direct message me, and we'll see you soon.